Hey guys and girls, I hope everyone's doing good. It's a challenging time. I've kind of been repeating this again and again, but it's true. But yeah, I was just watching a video from Jordan Peterson that I thought was brilliant. And the video is 3 years old and it's titled How to Overcome the Fear of Talking to Women. And basically, Jordan Peterson said three things that, well, everything he said I agreed on. But these were things that I practiced years ago, and they really helped. So he basically said, for any guys that's got like bad anxiety with speaking to women, social phobia, social anxiety, social awkwardness, nervousness, shyness, blushing, stuttering, all the common symptoms of anxiety. He was saying that speed dating is a great place for a guy to practice who wants to get over his anxiety as quick as possible with speaking to women. And it triggered an old memory several years ago. I think this was 7 years ago, maybe a bit longer. I don't know, roughly around that. I got invited to a speed dating event. I got invited to a number of actually dating events, and I wasn't sure at first, and I went. And I can honestly say, even though I didn't meet my girlfriend there, but it was very helpful at the time because I was experimenting with, getting over my anxiety and getting more confident with speaking to women. And I did enjoy it. It was a positive experience, and I did go to quite a few. Now I know it's a bit annoying at the moment because we can't do speed dating because of the lockdown at the moment, right? But I'm just trying to be positive for everyone. We're hoping that at some point this lockdown will come to an end, please God, or please government, hope they can come up with a solution so then we can start going to dating events and we can start dating again, right? So I thought that was really good. And he went on to say what I've said many times on this channel, and when I was teaching as a dating and relationship expert, he said, the best thing for any guy that wants to get over his fear of talking to women is exposure. And exposure therapy is exactly what it says on the tin. It's basically exposing yourself gradually or over a period of time to the very thing that makes you anxious, that makes you frightened. In this case, it's talking to women. And he said speed dating is good because a guy gets to speak to, and a girl and a woman. We're talking about men in this instant, but I will cover some videos for women as well, because there's a lot of women, which I really appreciate, who subscribe to my channel and they get a lot of confidence or encouragement from watching my videos and the advice that I give. So he was saying it's great for guys because a guy will get to speak to many women in one night, in a short amount of time. Whereas for most guys, obviously most guys who lack confidence with women, then they're going to struggle to get a date. They're not guaranteed to get a date on online dating. So it's unlikely that they're going to get a chance to speak to 10 women in the space of an hour or even quicker than that. And that's what it was like when I went to the speed dating event. I think it was, I can't remember if it was hosted by, was it a man and a woman, or I think it was a woman, right? That she ran these events at the time. I don't know if she still runs them, but they were on a site called meetup.com. So a friend told me about it, so I went along, and when I went there was a room and there was men and women, and I remember speaking to around, off the top of my head, I think I spoke to about 5 or 6 women, and I ended up actually going on a date with a woman that I met at the speed day, and we went out after and we went and got some food, and I enjoyed that. So it did give me a lot of confidence at the time, because I remember I was a bag of nerves before going to the event, and most people are nervous at the event. So it is really completely true what he's saying, because I've actually experienced it for myself. And obviously when I started teaching, that was the same methodology that I applied with my clients at the time. I would get them to speak to 10 women in the space of an hour, just to get them over that anxiety, just to get them used to being comfortable with a woman and just having a conversation. Jordan Peterson's same thinking as me, and sometimes it's really good for a guy to not even try and flirt, and to not, and no flirting, just to get comfortable with just normal conversation. Just like, where did you grow up? What do you work as? what are your hobbies, what are you interested in doing, you know, what's your name, just basic common sense social skills. And believe me, for a guy who's paralysed with anxiety, that would be a big deal if he could successfully do that. So I do think speed dating, I'm not saying it's the best way, it wasn't the best way for me, but I do think it is good. It is good for that problem. And obviously when a guy gets more confidence, you can try different dating platforms. So yeah, I agreed with his advice. I've practiced it, and I wanted to share it. And I'm just hoping, I know a lot of you are single, and same for me as well. When we come out of this lockdown, you can go to more dating events. I'm sure they're going to put on loads of events, because men and women are going to want to meet each other, especially for single men and women that have been single all throughout the lockdown, and they've not been single through their own choice. They've not wanted to be single. It's just because of the unfortunate circumstances that we've all been in with COVID-19 and with this ongoing lockdown. So I wanted to put a positive message out, and I'll leave a link below to Jordan Peterson's video. It is 3 years ago, bearing in mind, but that's not that long. And it was about 5 minutes, and he's doing like an interview, like a Skype. I don't know who the guy is that he's interviewing, or the guy's interviewing Jordan Peterson, and I think the guy's struggling with his confidence and he's got anxiety, so Jordan Peterson's giving him advice, and then he gives some other advice which I agreed on, but it's difficult. I don't personally like online dating very much, but that's my opinion. He was just saying it's not great, but another option would be for a guy to go on like 25 dates from Tinder and not go on the dates with the intentions of sleeping with women, but just to practice talking to women, you know, and building that confidence and getting over that anxiety. But that's great advice what he said, and I agree with it. But realistically, I think the average guy is going to struggle to probably even get 5 dates on Tinder, let alone 25. But you guys can let me know, because I don't use Tinder, I don't use online dating. But from what I've been told from my previous girlfriend and quite a few girls that I've dated and still kept in touch with, and we're still friends, they've had a negative opinion on Tinder. They've used it and said it ain't been a great platform. But some people might disagree. Obviously everyone's got entitled to their own opinion, so please let me know in the box below, guys and girls. And if there's any, please, I want any girls or women that watch my channel, if you want me to make some videos for women on, you know, how to get over your anxiety with talking to men or people, then let me know. But to be honest, it's exactly the same really. So the advice that I'm giving to men to get over their social anxiety and shyness talking to women, it would be the same in reverse. But maybe I needed to tell you that, because maybe you didn't know, maybe some of you don't know, and that's the whole point of communicating and doing these videos and sharing my experience. But I'll be honest as well, and I don't feel bad about sharing it. You know, I'm gonna have a lot of anxiety with speaking to women again and dating, because I've had so much time in lockdown, in isolation. I'm out of practice, so I'm gonna have to, when we come out of this lockdown, I'm gonna have to face my fears again, and face that anxiety and start being social again. So that's one of the downsides and the negatives of not socializing for such a long time, for men and women, or for anyone, that if you're prone to social anxiety, or you've had anxiety growing up and then you've worked very hard and you've overcome it, and you've got yourself in a confident place, when you take long periods, you know, when you spend a long time in isolation, the anxiety does start coming back. You're not going to lose all your confidence completely. Like, I'm still going to have some of my confidence, because a lot of for me is memory and experience, you know, because I've been on hundreds of dates, you know, over the course of 10 years, and you know, I had several long-term relationships, and I've done a lot of socializing. But at this moment in time, I've been very isolated and very out of practice. So I just thought that was great advice. Even though Jordan Peterson was giving that advice to men who have got anxiety with women, I just think that's good advice to women and men, to anyone who's got an anxiety, anyone who's got an anxiety around talking to people or socializing. That's great advice. So I've come to realize, as I'm getting older, you know, the advice that I was teaching over the years to men, it's exactly the same for women. It's exactly the same for any woman or any girl who's very nervous talking to guys or going on a date with a guy. It's exactly the same. You'd want to do exposure therapy. You'd want to, maybe a woman would want to go on several dates, or talk to several men so she can get comfortable and get over this anxiety, or at least reduce it, because you never really completely get rid of anxiety or social anxiety, but you can get to a point where it's really, really mild, like you don't really feel much, and it's very controllable, and it doesn't stop you, and you're able to express yourself and be confident. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that and share that, and maybe we could extend on this, and we could do another live stream and talk about this, because I think a lot of men and women are probably like I am, scratching their head and thinking, how are we going to meet each other when we've been in isolation. So speed dating events can be very good. Like anything, no, it is a bit hit and miss. It doesn't guarantee that you're gonna, for men and women, you're gonna find a long-term relationship. You can though, but I can add some of my other platforms. I think when things get back to normal, I think coffee shops are really good places for men and women to meet each other. Obviously, it's a little bit more difficult in a coffee shop because it's not a speed dating event where everyone's agreed to speak to each other, and it can be a bit more quiet. But again, it depends on the coffee shop, and it depends on your confidence and who you're speaking to. But they are good places. I have had dates from getting into a conversation with a woman in a coffee shop, and then she's ended up asking me, "Do you want to join me?" Or I've said yeah, and then we're pretty much on a date. We're instantly on a date, and I've seen other guys and I've seen women get talking and they don't know each other, and then they seem to exchange telephone numbers. So that's another good place when we come out of this. I also think in the summer parks are really good, especially in London. There's always lots of men and women, and for women, if women don't feel like safe, or men, or they want to go to a place, I usually find if you go to a busy part of a park, it is safe because there's police around, right? Just in case. There's lots of other people. So I'm not saying go in the middle of the woods to a man or to a woman and start trying to chat someone up or get a date. Obviously that's not intelligent. You definitely don't want to do that. I'm saying the popular parts in like parks where there's a lot of people around and you're safe, and then you can speak to someone, meet someone, or get a date, exchange numbers. So there's that. Also tourist places as well. There's many in London, like Central London, Piccadilly, Covent Garden. They're good places to meet someone. So, but maybe I'll extend on that more in the future. Let's just see what happens at the moment. But yeah, I wanted to share this. It's a positive video, and it really is true what he said, and it did bring me back to many years ago when I was going. And I think another thing I just want to add to what Jordan Peterson said as well, right? And he probably would have said this, but it was a short clip that he was speaking on, 5 minutes. You'd want to go to several speed dating events, because I don't think if you've got bad anxiety, you're not going to overcome it just by going to one speed dating event. I'm being realistic. That's going to be close to impossible. So you're probably going to have to do this for several months. You're going to have to go to meet up groups, dating, speed dating events, and that's going to be great anyway, for you to see real progress with your confidence, and till you get to a place where your anxiety either goes away or it's very minimal, and you can override it, and with your social skills and confidence. So these are some great tips and great strategies for men and women to get over really the anxiety of dating and socializing, and they've really helped me in the past. I've tried them, but yeah, everyone's you should choose what works for you. You might prefer online dating, you might like talking to people in public. You might like coffee shops, you might prefer speed dating, you might prefer meetups. You've also got networking events. If you're an entrepreneur and you're a woman or a man or both, they can be great places to meet as well, because like-minded people are in the same environment. You might be a man and woman are both into success and self-help and business, or things like Anthony Robbins, and if you go to an event like that, it's a very good chance that you can meet someone. So I thought I'd share that. Anyway, become fearless. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Really helps the channel grow. Please don't forget, guys and girls, if you enjoy my videos, and I'll speak to you soon. Become fearless.